Only those who have felt severe pain will understand how terrible it is, sometimes for just a few minutes, others, unfortunately, for longer. From kidney stones to stubbing your toe on a corner, that's what we'll be looking at today in this video. The 10 worst pains a human can feel in their lifetime. Just a heads up, this list has no specific order. I'll leave that mission for you to comment below. And of course, if you think I missed one that you find even more agonizing by the end of the video, feel free to add it. Kidney stones. You've certainly heard of this one, or maybe even experienced it yourself. Well, I've never had them, but some say the pain is similar to that of appendicitis, which I had to have surgery for when I was only 8 years old. Even today, I remember the sheer panic after the pain began. Kidney stones start when you slow down your daily water intake. The first signs are your urine becoming darker, along with difficulty urinating. After this stage, you will get to know renal colic, which is intense pain in the back that can radiate to the abdomen, groin, and thighs. And if that weren't enough, nausea and vomiting are frequent. This occurs because minerals solidify in your kidneys due to lack of water, and even so, the body attempts to expel them through urine. In other cases, they can get stuck right there in the kidneys, causing swelling and even more pain. In these more severe cases, the solution is surgery. There are so many cases of this that some people seem to have had a stockpile of stones inside them. So, if you don't like the thought of being in an operating room, take advantage now, grab your water bottle, and hydrate yourself. Normal childbirth pain. Everyone knows that labor is the moment the baby leaves the mother's uterus. But there are 2 ways this can happen. A C-section, where the baby is removed through an incision in the mother's abdomen, usually when there is a risk to life for either of them, or when the woman wants to avoid feeling one of the worst pains ever experienced. During the process, the uterine muscles contract forcefully to push the baby out. The problem is that these contractions press on nerves, organs, and bones, all at the same time. Some women report that the sensation is like having an organ being torn out of them. Sounds terrifying. And of course, when someone says it was a normal birth, the word normal should be replaced with heroic. But thanks to these heroines, each of us is here today to tell the tale. Trigeminal neuralgia. The trigeminal is the nerve responsible for sensations in the face. When it becomes inflamed or compressed, the result is an electric, stabbing pain that can be triggered by simple things, like brushing your teeth, feeling the wind, or even smiling. Patients describe it as receiving violent electric shocks to the face, repeated many times a day, without warning. Can you imagine barely being able to do basic tasks because of a pain like this? Science is still trying to fully understand why the nerve acts up this way, but they already know it involves vascular compression and damage to the nerve's protective sheath. Fortunately, treatment exists, using a radiofrequency procedure where the doctor inserts needles into the patient's cheek until they reach the trigeminal nerve. An electrode is placed on the needle and connected to a radiofrequency generator, which, upon contact with the nerve, emits an electric current. The goal is to inactivate the nerve, thereby reducing the pain. There are also other treatments that can nullify the pain without you losing some sensitivity. Cluster headaches. This is the cluster headache, a type of headache that usually attacks suddenly, often behind one eye, and can last from 15 minutes to 3 hours. During the attacks, the eye may tear up, the nose gets congested, and the person becomes so desperate that many pace in circles, moan, or bang their head against the wall trying to distract themselves from the suffering. But the worst part is that it comes in clusters, meaning it can happen several times a day for weeks on end. Unfortunately, there is no cure for this condition, only treatment with anesthetics and oxygen. But do you know something that is not painful at all? Subscribing to the channel and leaving that like, so I know you enjoy this type of topic. I want to take a moment to thank the over 200 subscribers. Thank you for the support with likes and comments on the videos. Know that I will always do my best to bring you quality, curious, and truthful content, and let's reach new goals here on the channel. Gout. Gout is a throbbing pain in the joints of those who overindulge in red meat, sugar, and alcoholic beverages. All these things contain purines, which are very common chemical compounds. But when your body starts breaking down these substances, it produces uric acid in your blood. In other words, if you eat purine-rich foods, you will release a lot of uric acid into your body, developing sharp crystals in your joints. Gout usually occurs in the big toe because uric acid is sensitive to changes in temperature, only able to transform into crystals in colder temperatures. And since your foot is the lowest part and farthest from your heart, it tends to be colder. It is an excruciating pain, also because the affected areas become more sensitive than normal, which can make it difficult for you even to find a comfortable position to sleep, until suddenly you feel a burning pain in your joints. Being so sensitive, it's better not even to think about pressing on that gout. Gympie sting. Speaking of insane pain, this one even appeared in one of the channel's videos, but for those who haven't watched it, imagine a plant that looks harmless, with green, fuzzy leaves, but which can leave you screaming in agony for weeks. Well, this is the charming Gympie, a plant native to Australia. Of course it would be in Australia, right? Each hair on this plant is actually a microscopic needle filled with toxin. When it touches the skin, it injects venom that causes such an absurd pain that it has been compared by victims to receiving a constant electric shock, mixed with acid burning the flesh. It's a burning sensation that comes and goes. And the worst part? These fibers remain lodged in the skin, continuing to release toxins for days, weeks, or even months. Tarantula hawk wasp. This giant wasp makes the tarantula itself fear being paralyzed and killed. The entomologist Justin O. Schmidt, who literally created a scale to measure the pain of insect stings, described the tarantula hawks as instantaneous, electric, and absolutely devastating. It is so intense that all you can do is lie on the ground and scream. Yes, screaming is practically the recommended treatment. The tarantula hawk's venom is not lethal to humans, but it is strong enough to paralyze an adult tarantula. The good news, if there is any, is that the pain, although almost unbearable, lasts only a few minutes. But they will certainly be the longest minutes of your life, stepping on toys, or stubbing your toe. You have certainly experienced this situation a few times. There you were, walking barefoot around the house, and suddenly you feel something embedded in your feet, and the next moment, an intense pain that makes you curse in other languages you didn't even know, bitterly regretting not looking at the floor before and at least putting on slippers. Another painful occurrence is stubbing your toe on a corner. It could be the bedroom door or the sofa. The initial feeling is that you have broken your toe, but fortunately, it is stronger than it looks. The reason our feet are sensitive to these situations is the enormous number of nerve endings located in the soles of our feet. There is an estimate of 70,000 nerve endings in that area. Well, at least now you know why the pain in this area is stronger than in others. Fibromyalgia. It is a mysterious condition that causes the body to feel pain everywhere, even when there are no apparent injuries or inflammations, and it can even become more sensitive to other types of pain. So, if feeling pain all the time wasn't bad enough, any other pain will be even more painful. The result? A constant feeling of an aching body, extreme fatigue, and a mental fog called fibro fog, which leaves the person forgetful and confused. And the strangest part is that even scientists aren't sure what causes the disease, but it has recently been more associated with physical and mental factors. The hypothesis is that the nervous system is not correctly processing pain signals. Therefore, this is a condition whose precise cause is unknown, nor is its cure. Irukandji jellyfish. And finally, we have the tiny Irukandji jellyfish, which has a very strong venom and causes a lot of pain when it comes into contact with the skin of a tourist in the waters of Australia. This small jellyfish is about the size of a human thumb, but they can be even smaller than that, meaning they are practically transparent in the crystal clear waters. The sting begins with a mild burning sensation, like a mosquito bite. But soon after, the entire body collapses. The person feels unbearable pain in their muscles, chest, and back, starts vomiting non-stop, Their heart races, and blood pressure shoots up. Although rare, the stings can be fatal if not treated quickly. That must be why local surfers and divers usually wear protective suits covering their entire bodies, even in the tropical heat. Which of these did you find the most painful to feel? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video interesting, it's because you haven't seen this one on the screen yet.